Hello again. Here I am at my special place down at the Rocks to do my On the Rocks Reflections video. The first one for 2026, because I like to do them at the end of each month. If you've been following along, thank you for that. I do post them on YouTube these days, as well as the link from YouTube to my socials. So January, I am just loving 2026. This New Year vibe, I don't know, there's something in it. It's got a different energy, seems lighter, fresher, more creative, more joyful. It's like an active vibe, and for me it's like a whole heap of dots that have connected, that have kind of joined up and sort of created this flow and momentum, which is really lovely. Can you feel it too? I've got coaching clients and colleagues that are all saying to me, it's a different energy this year, and yes, I'm feeling that. So for me, it's kind of like I'm finally shed all that heavy shit, like a snake shedding its skin. The stuff that's weighed us down, the stuff that's no longer relevant. I just feel like I've released that. I've untethered from some things. I've uncomplicated stuff. I've had a clean out, What that's produced is so much more clarity. It's a clear direction and a fresh energy to move forward in on a path that seems unobstructed now, with a much broader perspective. And I think that's come from almost doing like a full circle of release and recalibration and then redesign. And over a couple of years, I would say, it's kind of been a slow burn, a slow go through. What does this transitional phase mean? And that's not unusual. It's not unusual for someone in their 50s. It's not unusual for someone in their 60s. Every now and then, we just need to do a recalibration of, what's important to us now. And it doesn't mean that our purpose completely changes. It just means that the focus and priorities and the way in which we go about doing things may have changed or may need to change. So last year, end of last year, the last quarter, Q4 as I call it, of 2025, I did a nice slow journey of overseas traveling where I was really experiencing a number of new things. I was allowing it to flow, was sort of semi-planned. But what I was doing really was experimenting and experiencing the latitude living framework that I've been working on for some time. And last year, my word of the year was latitude. And what that meant was actually looking at things more broadly and also in a more balanced way. So what that has brought about is certainly broader thinking, bolder attitudes, bolder actions to be taken, bolder, courage in how you do things. And then also really feeling that how important it is to have things more balanced. So, balanced amount of travel, a balanced amount of new things, a balance in the way we eat, the way we exercise, and where our priorities are. So this year, I'm really embedding that because I could see how well that works and had some lessons along the way that I'm sharing in the book that I'm writing. So it's going to be a year of much more momentum in that space because so many people are looking for how they can redesign their life, live their life by design, if you like, and that's a word that I use or a phrase that I use a lot now. And what I add to that is life by design, not by duty, not by demand, and not by default. Because so much of our lives is centered around that word that I've always disliked, which is the word should. And that links to, what we should be doing. What are our duties, particularly our gendered duties, the things that are expected of us. And then the demands of life, the things that, we seem to feel like we don't have any choice because it's a demand on us. And then also all of the things that just happen by default where, we're not planning, we haven't designed it, it just happens and we just go with the flow. So it's really being much more intentional with how we design living. And I'll have a lot more to talk about that this year because it's a very centered piece of the work that I'm doing this year around really helping people to design a life that's around living longer, that latitude living, and really embracing our longevity, the longevity, the longer living opportunities that we have and how we can actually really enjoy that. So 2026 word of the year. I announced it at the end of last year. It's all over my socials, but if you haven't heard, it's actually the word catalyst because it is around really driving those changes and being a catalyst for how we do things as we live longer. So I've put across a lot of my socials the script word above the word catalyst in bold, which is longevity. And so my focus on catalysts or driving change is around that longevity piece. Again, more and more on that this year, just giving you a hint of what's coming. And finally, International Women's Day, it's in March, and Queensland Women's Week. And I have actually put together my talk on that, which the UN Women's theme is balance the scales. And my talk is balance by design. And again, I'm talking about balancing your life by design, not by duty, not by demand, and not by default. So if you want to know more about that, check out my socials, check out my website. I've had a bit of a refresh a bit as well. And until next month or the end of next month, have an awesome February. Feel those vibes, those fresh vibes of this year, and go for it. Bye for now.